Ooh, more amazing facts coming at you! Here are 50 amazing facts to blow your mind. The US Navy uses dolphins and sea lions to locate and mark the location of sea mines. Dolphins have the most sophisticated sonar known to man, and sea lions have excellent low-light vision and underwater directional hearing capabilities, which makes them the perfect animals for the job. The grumbling you get in your stomach is called borborygmi. It's caused by the movement of gas within the intestines. The Galapagos iguana is the only iguana in the world that feeds underwater. They can hold their breath for up to half an hour and dive up to 9.1 meters. Since all mammals, including dolphins, require fresh water in order to survive, it's believed that dolphins have an advanced filtration system that allows them to extract additional salt from their urine in order to separate the salt from the salt water that they consume. There's a neurological condition called synesthesia in which two or more senses are attached. There are multiple types of synesthesia, but one of them is called mirror touch synesthesia, where people with it feel exactly what others feel as pain and pleasure. The Galapagos Islands are a chain of islands created by volcanic activity, and no animals are actually native to the Galapagos. Every species of animal that's in the Galapagos came from floating on ocean or air currents. According to a study done by the Department of Experimental Psychology at the University of Bristol in 2010, caffeine makes men less but women more effective as partners under stress. There are utility tunnels lined with pipes that run under most of the buildings on the University of Ohio's campus. They were created in the late 1800s as a way to access the pipes in case of an emergency without digging through the lawn, and they're still in use today. China's population actually shrunk by 1 million people in a period of only 5 years between 2010 and 2015. In 1945, 25-year-old Balua Hunter gave birth to a healthy baby girl after being pregnant for 375 days. To put that into perspective, a normal pregnancy is about 280 days. The largest gem-quality diamond ever found is the Foxfire diamond. It was found in August of 2015 at the Diavik Diamond Mine above the Arctic Circle in Canada's Northwest Territories. It is a whopping 188 carats. Researchers are currently developing flexible electronic skin for prosthetic limbs that can help replicate the sensory capabilities of real skin. It can even feel temperature changes. There's an artificial heart device known as a syncardia that allows people to live temporarily without a heart. It's often used by people who are waiting for a heart donor. On June 27, 2015, Joseph Totling of Austria beat the world record for the longest distance pulled by a horse while fully engulfed in flames. He traveled a half kilometer completely on fire. Queen Elizabeth II is not only the longest serving British monarch in history, but she's the longest serving living monarch. Many cats actually love olives because of the isoprenoids found in olives that are structurally similar to the active chemical in catnip. Airports in the United States use peregrine falcons to keep gulls and geese away from the runways in order to reduce the risk of collision with planes. Up until the 1990s, the halftime show at the Super Bowl was just marching bands and drill teams, simply meant to fill in the time so that fans and TV viewers could go to the concession stand, get a favorite snack, go to the refrigerator, or just go to the bathroom. Anheuser-Busch InBev paid a whopping $1.4 billion in order to renew its contract as the official beer of the NFL through to the 2022 Super Bowl. They've been the official beer of the Super Bowl since 2011 when they replaced Coors Light. According to a study published by Vegetarian Times, 3.2% of US adults, that's about 3.7 million people, follow a vegetarian-based diet. There is a National Fancy Rat Society. It was formed in 1976 by a group of people who simply wanted to promote the rat as a pet and an exhibition animal. According to the Guinness World Records, on June 7, 2014, 1,416 Toyota cars were parked together in Airport Kuznetsovo, Russia, to create a giant Toyota logo, breaking the previous world record held by Subaru. It was created to introduce a new Toyota dealership in the area. There are restaurants throughout Bangkok, Thailand called Cabbages and Condoms, where there is condom-themed decor, and instead of offering you an after-dinner mint, you get a condom on the way out. During the making of Rocky IV, Sylvester Stallone was put in the hospital by Dolph Lundgren. Dolph hit him so hard in the chest during a fight scene that the pericardial sac around his heart swelled up, which impeded the beating of his heart, causing his blood pressure to skyrocket to 290. He spent 9 days in intensive care. There's a tomato tree in Epcot's Land Pavilion in Florida that holds the world record for the most tomatoes harvested from a single plant in 1 year. This tomato tree had a 1-year harvest of 32,000 tomatoes, weighing in at a total of 522.5 kilograms. Only 1 in every 300 calico cats are male. In February of 2017, NASA and the European Space Agency's Hubble Space Telescope captured a rare image that shows the death of a star. It shows the dying star transforming from a red giant to a planetary nebula called the Calabash Nebula. It's known as the Rotten Egg Nebula because it contains so much sulfur that it would smell like rotten eggs. On September 12, 2001, the day after the terrorist attacks of 9/11, the Queen broke with tradition during the changing of the guard by having the guards play the Star-Spangled Banner as a sign of the UK's sympathy for all that the US had to go through and all of those that were killed. Actor Michael Clarke Duncan, who played John Coffey in the movie The Green Mile, was once the bodyguard to Queen Latifah, Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, and Jamie Foxx. Greenland is the least densely populated territory in the world, with only 0.02 people per square kilometer. The entire population is only about 56,000 people. The first Super Bowl was officially called the first AFL-NFL World Championship game. There's actually no lead in a pencil. The core of a pencil is made of a non-toxic mineral called graphite. On July 20th, 1944, an assassination attempt on Adolf Hitler's life was attempted by Colonel Claus von Stauffenberg, Chief of the Army Reserve. Stauffenberg planted a bomb in a briefcase, which he placed near Hitler under a table, then left quickly. Another colonel inadvertently moved the bomb further away from Hitler so that when it was detonated, Hitler was injured, but he survived. The creator of the video game Minecraft, Marcus Notch Persson, sold the business in 2014 to Microsoft for $2.5 billion. The chemical compounds that we emit when passing gas varies depending on what we've eaten and can vary from one person to another. But in case you were wondering, the typical breakdown of a fart is about 20 to 90% nitrogen, 0 to 50% hydrogen, 10 to 30% carbon dioxide, 0 to 10% oxygen, and 0 to 10% methane. Lead singer of Aerosmith, Steven Tyler, started Janie's Fund, named after his song Janie's Got a Gun, to support programs offered at youth villages to help girls overcome deep trauma of abuse and neglect. President Lyndon B. Johnson was such a huge dog lover that he tried to sneak his dog Yuki into his daughter Lucy's wedding. In 1968, the crew of the Apollo 7 won a special Emmy Award from the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences for their live transmissions from space. President Richard Nixon could play 5 instruments: the piano, the saxophone, the clarinet, the accordion, and the violin. In 1980, Beatle Paul McCartney was arrested and then deported from Japan after a 9-day stint in the Tokyo Narcotics Detention Center for trying to smuggle in nearly half a pound of marijuana in his baggage. Those little round bugs that live under logs, called pill bugs, aka roly-poly bugs, that are not really bugs at all, are actually crustaceans. They're actually related to shrimp and crayfish, breathe with gills, and need humidity and moisture to survive. The word Kia has origins in the Chinese language with the first syllable ki, meaning to arise or come out of. The second part of the word refers to Asia. So in other words, Kia means to rise up or or come out of Asia. Lemurs have terrible vision and can only see in black and white. Llamas and alpacas can successfully interbreed, and their offspring is called huarzo. Snakes actually used to be able to slither and walk because they used to have legs, but they evolved into legless creatures, but the gene to grow limbs still exists. Both Muslims and Hindus in some parts of India have a ritual that dates back 500 years where they drop their babies from the roof of a temple to a sheet held taut by men on the ground. It's considered to bring good health and good luck. On Valentine's Day, during the Victorian era and the early 20th century, people sent vinegar valentines as well as the usual Valentine's cards. Sold in the United States and Britain, the cards featured an illustration and a short verse of insult instead of love. It was a way for them to insult someone without actually doing it to their face. Ooh! Whale milk has such a high percentage of fat in it that it is the same consistency of toothpaste. The high fat content not only helps nourish the whale calf, but also keeps the milk from dissolving in the water. A single gram of venom from the Bruno's cask-headed frog is strong enough to kill 80 people. Isn't he cute? On February 10th, 2017, there was a full moon, a lunar eclipse, and a comet that could all be seen in the same night. Knowledge. And that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. On the right, you'll find 2 of my most recent videos that you can press or click on your screen right now if you'd like to watch some more. And other than that, have a fantastic weekend. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching, and I love you. Bye!